Hello, my name is Eric Sheptalk, and here I am inside of Washington, D.C. homeless shelter. And this building holds 1,350 homeless people. Well, there have been issues in the past where the homeless have tried to get these free phones for things that they really need, and they've been told only one person per address can get the free phone. But you have 1,350 homeless people who are all individual heads of households. They aren't related, you know, and so we need to change the policy so that each individual can have their own phone, and we really need it for things like job searches. And so you can't give the shelter phone number to an employer or a prospective employer, because he might call the shelter, hear them say, hello, such and such shelter, and rescind the job offer. It's happened plenty of times. And also, there are homeless people who don't stay in shelter at all. And we had a case of a man who recently froze to death. And if that man had a phone, he would have been able to call somebody and get some kind of help, and would have been able to get inside somewhere rather than staying outdoors and freezing to death. So I would ask you and beg you and plead with you to work with the homeless so that each individual homeless person can have their own phone for various dire emergencies, and also for job searches and things that would help them to grow beyond homelessness. Thank you.
Now to a News Edge exclusive. Tonight, the district is trying to find out what happened to a wheelchair-bound homeless veteran. The man died after he was turned away from a homeless shelter during the October snowstorm. Fox 5's Roz Plater working the story. Roz?
Brian, here's what we've been able to piece together about this man from others in the shelter who knew him. We're told he's in his early 60s, a Vietnam veteran, confined to a wheelchair and on the streets for years. Tonight, homeless activists say we have got to do better.
The night of October 29th, D.C. got a rare snowstorm and plunging temperatures. That next morning, just across the New York Avenue homeless shelter, a wheelchair-bound man nicknamed Sarge was found dead. The cause of death, so far undetermined. Folks who live here believe he froze to death.
They come out of Virginia, somewhere. I don't know what, I forgot what part of Virginia. Okay?
And he was a veteran?
Yeah, he's in Vietnam. I'm 59, Lou. Say he was 61, I think, 61 or 62.
The city's Department of Human Services is investigating what happened that night, but off camera, shelter residents tell Fox 5 Sarge lined up to get into the shelter but argued with workers, refusing to get rid of a can of beer he was drinking, and stayed outside. Advocates say somebody should have done more, even though he was in violation of the rules.
I can't hold it against the shelter for not letting him in with an open container, but what I'm saying is that the shelter should not have simply left him out here. When they realized that he was drinking and that he was irrational, they should have taken additional steps.
On this bitterly cold night, advocates were back out at the shelter pleading with the homeless to follow the rules and get in out of the cold.
We don't want them to be out here drinking alcohol during hypothermia season, because it plays tricks with you. And a lot of them, homeless individuals, some of them, have problems with alcoholism. So we just want to hopefully build some awareness, and maybe Luther won't have died in vain.
And the director of D.C.'s Human Services Agency told me tonight they expect to wrap up their investigation by Monday, and I'm told Councilmember Jim Graham is also looking into this one. Brian?
So, Roz, it appears the shelter was following the rules. What do the advocates want to see happen?
Well, it's a tough case. The homeless advocates are hoping, though, this tragedy will trigger some sort of policy change, maybe more of an effort to reach out, especially to veterans who are often battling substance abuse.